So making in 2 hours, 7 meals, each will feed between 4 to 6 people. And honestly, I'm in love with this menu that's going on today. It is so dang good. And the recipes. You can find the recipes, every document that you need. If you're going back to watch this later, that's cool. Just click on the link in the description and it will give you literally everything that you need. Now, we're going to be making tater topped beef shepherd's pie, south of the border meatloaf, barbecue pork sandwiches, creamy turkey tetrazzini, chicken chilaquiles, which I did not know what those were before I tried this, but they're really good. They sound even weirder once you get to the recipe, but I promise they're good. Easy whole grain chicken tenders and broccoli cheddar soup. So these have gone over really, really, really well. I hope that you're going to love it. There are some seasonings that are in the recipes that are used by Pampered Chef, but you can use any seasoning that you want to. If it's something that's similar, you have favorites, whatever your case may be. So the ones that are used are Southwestern seasoning, garden vegetable dip, garlic and herb, bell pepper herb, smoky applewood, and chipotle. So some really good ones there. Honestly, the bell pepper herb is one of my favorite seasonings for anything ever. So I'll probably be using extra of that one just because. But we're going to start with the tater topped beef shepherd's pie. And I have really enjoyed this one. This is going to be one that it's going to be first started. But we're going to be cooking this one up a little bit. We're kind of prepping it here. So if you follow the instructions that I have in the materials there, you have your meat all prepared, you have it in bags. We're going with tater topped shepherd's pie. Okay, so and I'm going to be cooking it in this. This is the Rock Crock Everyday Pan. There's also a Dutch oven, which is like twice the height, but it's the same width around. It is probably my favorite cookware. And the reason why it's my favorite cookware is because it is just ridiculously versatile. Like, you can cook to temperatures up to 752 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, there's not much you can't cook it on, except for maybe like molten lava. It's a natural clay material. No idea what it is, but it makes magic happen. So you can cook with it on the stove top unless you have induction. It does not do induction. You can also cook with it in the microwave. And it does a really good job in the microwave. If you're cooking in the microwave and you're cooking like, if you were cooking meat or baking a cake or something like that, it should be horrible when you do it in the microwave. However, when you're doing it in the Rock Crock, it's not horrible. It's just genius. It takes you less time and it always turns out perfection. Can't tell you why, except that it's a miracle thing. Like, if you don't have one in your kitchen, you should, because it's one of those things you look at, it doesn't look so flashy when you're checking it out, and then you get it, you use it, you fall in love with it, and you're like, where has this been all my life? So it's actually one of my favorite gift ideas for weddings or something like that. Maybe even somebody who's just getting started loading up their kitchen, right? So I'm just chopping up an onion that's going to be going with my 1.5 pounds of ground beef in there. And to make the chopping of this onion really easy, I'm using the food chopper. Kind of reminiscent, I don't know if you guys remember the slap chop, but same sort of deal. Really, really, really fast and easy. So you can chop up your stuff as small as you want it to be. Great for onions, nuts, maybe just those things that you don't really look forward to dicing up really small, and it just does it in literally seconds. You done, right? So scrape that all into here. And you guys can see me over here while I'm cooking this up a little bit. I'm going to be using the mix and chop spatula. Now this is kind of a remake of this bad boy, which is the mix and chop. So it's kind of shaped like a swirly star. And this one's nylon. It's great for like chopping up meat. It is an extremely popular product. I think it's in 1 out of every 34 kitchens across Canada, which is kind of a crazy stat, but these things are awesome. Now, this was a more recent addition. And it's got kind of, you can see it there, kind of an arced design. So you still can chop the meat really well, but it also can work as a scoop, and it's got these like holes in it. So you can kind of sift out any liquids and whatnot as well. So it's kind of a nice little adjustment. It took me a little more getting used to, I would say, but I like it. It's good. Just giving that meat a rough chop there. Gonna throw the onion in there with it. This one is also, it's silicone, or it's silicone coated nylon, I believe. So it's got stability to it, but it's got the good scraping of the silicone too, which is rather nice. And I'm gonna put in 2 cloves of garlic. Got my garlic press here. If you're a garlic person, this is the best little garlic press. You don't actually have to peel your garlic for this garlic press, which is quite lovely. And it comes with a handy little cleaning brush as well that you can scrape the garlic off. And there's even a little storage spot in the handle where you can put it so that you don't lose it. Ironically, I don't know where mine is right now. Probably shouldn't admit that, eh? But even without the cleaning tool, it's still great to use. I've had mine for over 6 years now, and I have 0 issues with it. Absolutely love it. Would recommend it to anybody. I had an old garlic press before that, and it just went, I'd like to say rusty is what happened to it. And I've never had an issue with this one ever in any way. So rock crop. There is a slow cooker stand. So I know if you're slow cooking meat, a lot of the time you have to kind of sear the meat first, get the flavors going, which you can do that great in a rock crock because you can put it on the stovetop, you can sear your meat and do whatever. Then you can put it on the slow cooker stand, leave it for the day so that it does its thing. And later on, if you want to put like some cheese on top and melt that, you could do that. And you can take the raw crock out of the slow cooker, put it in the broiler in the oven, and you can get that crisp on top. If you're doing meat, you can get that crisp on the skin, or a bit of the sear on the cheese, whatever you're looking for. So that is a lovely, lovely thing. But honestly, I use it a lot for microwave cooking because it's shockingly good. Like you can make a delicious cake in that thing, and it should not taste good. So the rock crock, can you put it in the fridge?
Yeah, like once it's cooled down, can you put it in the fridge?
Oh yeah, like it can go like the big grill stones and stuff like that. You can put them in the freezer and use them, scrape them, make ice cream. Like it's
okay, cool.
Yeah, they are so ridiculously like versatile. They don't look that flashy, but don't get to look flashy if you know what you're doing. There we go. So I'm going to start getting some of the other stuff kind of thrown together. That's going to go in with that while that's cooking, because, you know, might as well. Got meals to make, right? So we're going to get one of these bags. Two cups of frozen peas and carrots. And I'm using these. It's an easy read measuring cup. They come in a full set where you get everything from the big bad boy that is 4 cups, everything down to a 1/4 cup right there. And the fun thing about them is that they have the measurements kind of all written up the side on the inside of it. So for liquid measures, especially, I don't know if you've played that game before where you're trying to put yourself level with whatever it is that you're measuring, and you're like pouring and checking out the line and wondering if you're too high, too low. And you don't have that game with the easy read measuring cups. So I can just dump that in. I mean, it's a freezing meal. It doesn't have to be that specific. We are not baking here, we're cooking. But got my 2 cups in there. I love it that you can just stand up and you see the numbers though. There's no squatting, no playing around with that. And
It doesn't matter how tall you are, which is what I love.
What?
It doesn't matter how tall you are.
No, it doesn't. Like,
right? So
you just see it.
You can see it no matter what.
Yes, that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, we're going to put in a can of, is this petite diced tomatoes? And I didn't really know what that was. So I just went for some canned tomatoes. I think I have like maybe a little bit more than supposed to go in it, but I thought a little more is better than too little. And who's looking for perfection on these things anyway? So I'll tell you in advance, we're actually cheating. Tonight, we're going to be having this one, I think, for supper. Because John has been looking forward to having this for supper every time since we tried it last. It's really good. Okay. Tomato.
Now, could you use different flavors of those, Caitlin? Like, because I know like the accents ones, right?
Like I have, yeah, like I have green pepper, celery, and onion. I thought, well, that sounds good. Why not throw some bonus things in? Why just the tomato? Why let the tomato have all the glory? So that's what I went with. I don't think you can go wrong. It seems like a very, very, very versatile recipe. And I think there's a lot of play and wiggle room. So if something in it doesn't quite, you know, suit your family's personal tastes, then I think it's an easy one to play with, which is important. 1/3 of a cup of tomato paste. And I've got my mini measure all cup. Love this thing, especially for anything that's goopy. Think peanut butter, honey, tomato paste, any of these things. And it has all the measurements written down the side. You just push it down. Fill her up. And then you just push out the bottom and it pushes it right out. So usually when you'd have to use a scraper and literally scrape everything out of a measuring cup, you don't have to do that. You want to know how $12 can change somebody's life? It's right here. So it's the little things that make a huge difference sometimes. So calls for 2 tablespoons of the smoky applewood. And
don't forget to mention what happens if you turn the cup the other way.
Oh yeah, you can do liquid this way, which is all right. Actually, John does liquid that way all the time. It's got a little pour spout and everything like that, measurements going up all that side as well. But that thing is awesome for the goopy stuff. It always will be.
It's my goopy go-to too.
Another thing with the rock is that it is really, really lightweight. Yet it retains heat. Like one of the nice things about if you're cooking with cast iron is that it retains the heat really well. And rock will do the same sort of as cast iron in the retaining the heat, but it's also really lightweight. So if you know anybody who likes that sort of cooking, but maybe can't handle the weight of cast iron, then rock would be something that may be totally up their alley. Or that could be you. Rock should be up everybody's alley. Oh, that's not far off from being done, but I'm just gonna leave it for a few more minutes. And I'm going to actually tweak this recipe a little bit to suit my family because we love the bell pepper herb. So I am doubling up the bell pepper herb. I know, naughty. And then we're just going to do one of the other, because recipes are meant to be played with. And let's see, 2 tablespoons the balsamic. I'm going to use my adjustable measuring spoon for this because I am keeping this measuring spoon set for any of my dry ingredients while I'm doing this. Reason being is because these will fit into any of the spice jars, which is really nice. So I'm not dumping into the spice jar into the measuring spoon, worrying about overfilling it or dumping anything around, making a mess. So I'm going to be using my adjustable measuring spoon for doing any of my wet ingredients. And the adjustable measuring spoons, they come in a set of 2. There's a tablespoon one and there's a teaspoon one. And you just slide this up here and it'll do anywhere between a tablespoon and a teaspoon, and it tells you everything in between. The smaller one does everything between an 1/8 of a teaspoon and a teaspoon. So very handy. There's only 2 spoons and they make up for a whole set. And they can do wet or dry. I have a fancy balsamic. I don't know. I like a good balsamic. I'm going to put it in something. And I mean, it's never like you put much in anyway, but go for the good stuff, right? So I'm just going to smush all this stuff together. And eventually, after the ground beef mixture cools just a little bit, I'm going to add it to all that. There we go. Okay, there we go. Looks good. I'm just going to give this a quick drain over here off camera. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that for a little bit. And I'm going to take one of these smaller bags. And I'm going to measure out 4 cups of tater tot. go. Perfect. That's going over there with that. And let's see. So got those done. Since my meat was in a different bag, I'm going to write on one freezer bag. Tater tot shepherd pie. And then I will know what this is someday. And I'm also going to put the instruction label for day of right in here. So the bag with the meat and the other stuff and the bag of the tater tots is going in this bag all together with the instructions. So the day of, I can take it out and there will be no confusion over what I am supposed to be doing with this thing. Okay. Now, still going to be a little while before I'm able to put the meat in with that. So for the moment, I'm going to move on to the next recipe, which is south of the border meatloaves. Okay. So I'm going to just get my ingredients together first so that I will be nice and prepared. So got one of them right here, got my meat. Now, what else do I need? Grabbing 5 of the small freezer bags. 2, 3, 4, 5. And one large one here. Grabbing some ketchup. Tortilla chips. A bell pepper. An onion. Got my chipotle again. An egg. And cheddar cheese. Okay, this is looking good. So let's see. All right, guys. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to prepare a sauce. Okay, so we're going to take 3/4 cup of ketchup. I'm going to use the mini measure all again. We're going to use a tablespoon of our chipotle. And I'm just going to put these together in a prep bowl, mix them up. Okay, so I'm going to put this down to, this will go maximum a cup. There is another size as well that'll go to 2 cups. So give this one a shake. I know a lot of people are French's people rather than Heinz people, but the ingredients are actually cleaner in the Heinz or more predictable in the Heinz because they have spices, and in the French's they have flavors. And not everything has to be natural when you put flavors, but spices have to actually be spices. That's a legal thing. So random facts in case those things matter to you. Okay, so I'm just putting this in a prep bowl here. Whoops. And at the same time, I will splash that all over my green pepper, but it's okay. It's all going in the same place, right? Okay. Chipotle. Here we go. I'm just going to give that a quick mix around in there. This is one of the silicone prep bowls. I like these things. They go in the microwave. They're bendy. So if you're trying to, you know, get them into a spot, you can. If you're soaking cashews or dates or something like that for a recipe, then instead of trying to drain them with anything else, you can just like literally squeeze the top and then dump the water out. I find that kind of cool, but might be a me thing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm taking a third of a cup of our very fancy Chipotle ketchup. And I am putting it in a bag. There we go. And then I'm going to seal that bag up. Then put that one there. I'm going to take, how much do I need of this? 1.5 cups. So there's about 1.5 cups. I'm at peace with that. I'm going to throw this into one of these bags. And I am going to crush these using the meat tenderizer. I'm just going to close this most of the way. I'm going to use the meat tenderizer to crush it. I personally think that the meat tenderizer is the most hilarious looking thing in the entire catalog, but it is very effective. It's actually quite sturdy, has a nice grip on it, has two sides. So it's got like a spiky side and a flat side. I'm just going to use the flat side and just crush these. There we go. All nicely crushed. It actually gets pretty fine doing it just like that. So we are going, oops, forgot about the ketchup on that already. Let's just get the ketchup off of my hands there.
What a great way to crush stuff in the little baggie. I just want to kind of revisit that. That's amazing because you get out a rolling pin and you put it down parchment paper and you roll out your crackers or whatever you're going to use. What a great way to crush stuff.
And if you have like any of the silicone reusable bags, you can use those too. Like you put stuff in them and crush them that way and
perfect.
Work fine. Do the same deal. Okay, so kind of getting the stuff out of the pepper here. And I am using a coated knife. It's a utility knife. It's a very handy one just to use for just about anything. And don't let the adorable like color on the handle fool you. These things are sharp. It's a really sharp knife. And people are often worried about using a sharp knife, but it's actually way more dangerous to use a blunt knife, because if you're using a knife and it is not sharp, you are just going back and forth and all over the place, and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. If you have a sharp knife, then it is going to actually cut what it's supposed to, and then you're going to be just fine. So let's see. So gonna got my pepper ready. I'm gonna prep an onion here. I mean, just because it's sharp, I shouldn't be like willy-nilly with it either, but what do you do? Perfect. Don't know if you noticed, but in my cutting board, I've got my good container going off the side, and then I have my scrap container going off the side. And some people like to do nice handy things with their scraps, like make stock, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't. I just like being able to put it in that little pocket there so that I can throw it out easier after. And I like to be able to put the stuff that is good into a pocket so that I can put it where it needs to go easier too. It is just makes so much sense to have a cutting board with pockets. Everything should have pockets. It's like this prep board has revolutionized for me cutting boards like pockets have revolutionized leggings for me. And once you go there, you just can't go back again. It's like you've seen something new and you just know better. So I'm just going with the food chopper again. It's gonna chop, chop, chop everything. Just imagine you have a long, hard, bad day at work. You come home, you're making supper, and this is what you get to do. I mean, it's awesome. You could do it if you have a good day at work too. Don't get me wrong.
And if you're like me and your chopper is like 18 years old and you drop it, you can order the new plastic piece for it.
You sure can. That's a nice thing is that you can order the replacement parts too. There's not many things where you can get replacement parts now. It's like everything is kind of disposable. And it's nice to just use products that are meant to last.
Yes. And let's bring that back to the fact that mine is 18 years old and still works like day one.
Like, that's amazing. And that's the kind of stuff that I love to hear. It's like, I can have stuff, I can love this stuff, you know, but like 18 years, that's like test of time, right? I mean, I'm not calling you old, I promise. Sorry. Okay. So what do we got here? Those are ready to go. I'm going to bring another little container over here actually, because I'm going to be doing some shredding of some cheese. Now, what does this say? We need 4 ounces, about 125 grams. This is 400. So I'm just going to cut off a chunk and see what it looks like. And I'm going to use a scale here because a kitchen scale is nice when you really aren't quite sure. Let's see. I'm curious. Oops. Level that out. I'm going to put it in 2 ounces, 4.2 ounces. Okay, that was some pretty good eyeballing. I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that. Okay. I have here my adjustable double grater. Oh, by the way, that kitchen scale. Do you see the surface area on that thing? Like, that's mad. That's awesome. Love the size of it. And of course it works great too, but the size of it is what attracted me to it, because we used to have just a small kitchen scale from Canadian Tire, but it was harder to fit things actually on it. Adjustable double grater. These things come with protective shields on it because they are laser etched and they are sharp and they will stay sharp. So there's a large side on it and there is a fine grating side on it. They can go separate, or these will just snap right together and then they can stand up. So you could stand this just on the cutting board, or it does come with this handy little catcher too. And these have little grippies on the bottom of them, so it's not going to be wiggling all over the place. And this has a grippy on the bottom of it too. So the hope is to keep you from, wiggling it all over the place. Since they are sharp, it does come with this protector thingamajigger. So in much the same way that you get a finger protector on, say, a mandolin, this just slides right onto there. And then you can put your cheese or whatever in there and then put that on and just scrape it along. Okay? Because nobody wants to eat part of your finger. I hope. No, that just sounds terrible. So nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I guarantee it. So we're just gonna grate this up. We're just using the big side of it because, well, whatever. And once I start getting, fairly close-ish, this is when I swap it out and I put this. Because now,
Hello.
it's at a decent shape for me. I can throw it in. There we go. So, got my cheese grated. Scrape that in here. 1 egg and this. So, this is our large bag with the ground beef, and we're going to throw a bunch of other stuff in there, okay? So, we're going to put in our veggies. We are going to throw in this cheese we just grated. See how easy that is when I have the pockets that I can just dump it in the bag, or if you're, say, frying something up, you can just dump it into the pan. Like, that to me is a perk. I really like it. Not gonna lie, I fall in love with it more and more every time I use it. And let's see, we're gonna put the rest of our chipotle sauce in there. We're gonna put the crushed tortilla chips in there. I like this because we're using the tortilla chips instead of breadcrumbs or something like that. So we do have, it's cheaper to use tortilla chips than it is to use gluten-free breadcrumbs, unless you make your own, like they're, and it lends a nice flavor to it as well. So I think you could use that hack in some other ways, but let your mind go wild with that one. Okay, so put another tablespoon of chipotle in there, and my egg. Oops, didn't mean to put that in ketchup. Perfect. So I'm going to take this, and we are going to get in touch with our inner child for a moment and just enjoy the messy feeling squishiness of putting together our meatloaf in this bag. You can meat, you cheese, your veggies, you have all of it. a lovely little massage. I don't know why this just feels like a little wrong or something, but wrong in such a good way. It's an effective way to throw it together. Now you can honestly play these by ear. Like if you wanted to have this pre-prepped for, say, little mini meatloaf muffins or something like that, you could divide it into that. You could make it into larger meatloaves. We're going to take this and put it into 3 mini meatloaves, and that's going to honestly make it a lot easier for when it comes time to thaw. If it was all one big solid hunk of meat, that would take a while. And when we're doing freezer meals, like we're doing this for efficiency. So let's keep her efficient. And there we go. I think that's successfully mixed up. I had fun with that. Now, to portion this out, I'm going to use a scoop. It's going to keep it fairly even, what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be a precise science, but it'll keep it fairly even for me. Now, I've got a couple of these little bad boys here. They will hold bags open for you, which is kind of lovely. I know the Ziploc bags are supposed to like stay open of their own accord, but trying to place 3 of those bags is just not always in my wheelhouse. So I've got a couple of these. We can raise that up a little bit too. They're adjustable. You can get them on Amazon. I'll find the ones that I got and drop a link there later. Because if you decide to do these freezer meals with me often, you might just want to have these. Okay. And I only have 2 of those on me at the moment. And just for a point of fun comparison, we will do those versus the Ziploc standalone and see how it goes. Okay, so there's one. Okay, yeah, those things already win. That's amazing. So I'm using the extra large scoop. There's actually 4 different sizes of scoops. And it's easy to remember what the measurements are in them because it's 4 levels and each level is a different tablespoon amount. So the small one is 1 tablespoon, the medium is 2 tablespoons, the large is 3 tablespoons, and this one right here is 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup. Now, what do you do with a 1/4 cup scoop? This, I honestly use it more for meat than I do for baking. Or if you're doing burgers, 2 of scoops of this will make like the perfect sized patty. I think this recipe might be nice if you're into like spicier things. I think you could probably like chop up a jalapeno and throw that in there too. I think that would be really good. I don't know what it is, but whenever I'm doing a recipe, it's like my first thought is, well, how can I change this just a little bit? What can I do to it? And I think that's one of the fun things about like cooking and playing in the kitchen. There's always like something just a little different that you could do. Okay. Ziploc, do you think? Oh, just kidding. No, the Ziploc bag did perform really well. It did stand up pretty good there. I just like it that these ones really keep the mouth wide for you, and that was kind of appreciated. It was really nice, so I would highly recommend that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give this a little squeeze, get most of the air out of it, and then I'm going to squish it down flat in there. That's going to make it the easiest for thawing purposes and for storing purposes. So each of these being in a different thing just makes it a little bit easier. And freezer meals, like this is something you do now, and then you love yourself for later, because someday you're like, ah, crap, what's for dinner? And kabam, there it is. It's just waiting for you. It's like you just knew. And then you're going, I love my past self for doing this. That was a fantastic idea. Okay. So there we go. Now, I don't want to write south of the border meatloaf on all of this because that's really long. So, because it's going to make me giggle, I'm going to call them SOB meatloaf. And then when I find it, I'll give myself a giggle at the same time. So we are going to put in our, I mean, if you were doing something smaller, I see no reason why you couldn't just bust out one of these bags. Nothing says that you have to take all three of these bags out at the same time. And maybe that gives you even a little bit more versatility with it, right? So could have used a smaller bag on this one. Note to future self, like that's kind of excessive, but you got the bags, right? Okay, so I'm gonna throw sauce in there as well. And last but not least, the handy dandy instructions. So
I suppose you could probably bake just one of those at a time if you wanted to, if it was just like meals for one or something.
oh, you definitely could. Like that would actually be perfect meals for one. And the flavor in these, it doesn't sound like much when you're putting this stuff together, but oh man, it's a nice flavor. Like this may have been the best meatloaf that I have ever had in my entire life. Like it was brag worthy and so easy.
I'm excited to try that one when I can stand up in the kitchen.
Yeah, when you can stand up, like just, tell me, hey, Caitlin, you mind? And no, I won't mind at all. You just come over and I'll feed you some meatloaf. Heck, you can come over for lunch and we'll just make one of them. Okay, let's see. Next up is barbecue pork sandwiches. So gonna grab my prepped bag of meat there. What else do I need? One more freezer bag. One medium-sized freezer bag. More ketchup. Gonna use my smoky applewood. Balsamic. Brown sugar.
I was typing earlier too, like you can check if people are watching from here, that Superstore awesome 50% off cart thing they got going on. You can often find the balsamic in there in different flavors and stuff, like fig or regular, or that's usually where I get mine. And they're not expired. It's usually just overstock or
really because I try to keep most of my stuff, kind of hippie natural. This is a balsamic vinegar. There's nothing weird in it at all. You're not going to get flavors. You're not going to get like added colors. None of that stuff. It's a high quality balsamic, and balsamics can range from, you know, if you're getting a $2 bottle of balsamic, you're getting a $2 bottle of balsamic. But they can range to very, very, very high prices very quickly. And they're a lot more expensive if they're quality in Italian. This is high quality and Greek. The fact that it's geographically Greek instead of Italian makes it probably a quarter of the price that it should be, which is awesome. So it's Acropolis Organics. So
Good tip.
It's delicious flavor. Love it. It's the only one that I used. I went to it once and I was like, yeah, I can't go back again. What can I say? I'm pampered. Okay, and an onion as well. All right, let's go. Let's get this together. So we're gonna put together another barbecue sauce. Where did I'm just gonna look for this bowl that is right in front of me because it's similar enough that I'm really just gonna put it in the same bowl. Nobody's gonna notice, nobody's gonna care, and it saves me a dish. I know it all goes in the dishwasher, but still, it saves me a dish. And sometimes that matters. So we're gonna use a full cup of ketchup. We are not messing around here. So we're making a barbecue sauce rather than using a barbecue sauce, is what we're doing essentially. Because a barbecue sauce might cost you a little more than the ketchup. I don't know. You can make this one yourself really easily. If you don't have barbecue sauce, then you are not in a bind at all. You got the things.
And you know what's in it.
So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of balsamic. Use 3 tablespoons of the smoky apple. It smells so good. Like it is, I could make a candle out of this. I really could. Like it smells so stinking good. Like it is unbelievable how good that smells. Okay. So we're gonna put 3 tablespoons in. We are not messing around with flavor, guys. Like I want these meals to be good enough that you will voluntarily skip the takeout because you have something delicious in the freezer and you're looking forward to it. Because otherwise, it's just going to sit there in the freezer. And what is the point of that? Okay. Three tablespoons of brown sugar. I probably should be using a different measuring spoon because now I'm thinking my brown sugar is going to taste a little like smoky apple would sometime, and I'm going to get a little confused with that, but these things happen. Sometimes you get a little smoky applewood cookie. Never know. There we go. Might not actually be a bad idea. You never know until you try. Okay. Gonna mix up our barbecue sauce. It's kind of nice using ketchup as a base because you always have ketchup around. Comes in a big bottle. So if you're using a full cup of barbecue sauce, like it's a fair bet. And this gives you the versatility and the wiggle room that you can do whatever you want. But ketchup already has so many spices in it that you're actually getting a really complex flavor profile, as weird as it sounds. Because I mean, it's just ketchup, but ketchup is actually quite extraordinary. I'm just gonna drain this a little bit. I just feel like after that meat was chopped and settled, it like did not look that good. So I just wanted to handle that a little bit. So fill up this onion, and this onion we're not going to be getting as creative with as the other ones. We're not really like chopping it that much. This one's just kind of a rough chop. So I'm slicing it like I would do almost a bar orange slice or something like that, you know? There we go. And into this bag, we shall throw, let's see, first, I should probably read this. Large bag. Okay, so I think I read that first. I was just gonna throw this all together, and apparently I would have been messing things up. Always good to follow instructions. Okay. I'm gonna grab one of these handy dandy little things again, because honestly, I like this. I like this a lot. Thought it seemed like kind of a gimmicky thing, but figured I'd give it a go, and glad I did. Okay. So we're going to take 3/4 cup of our barbecue sauce. Just gonna throw it in that bag right there. Give this a little roll to get the air out. That barbecue sauce smells divine. It smells so good. Okay. Yeah, I wish you guys could smell what I smell when I'm in here. I really do. So dump the onion in with the pork, and I'm gonna put the rest of the barbecue sauce in there too. I'm just kind of like rolling the bag a little to give it a squeeze to get the air out. And once again, just gonna rub it like it's had a tense day on at the office, on the road, whatever the case may be. Just give it a little bit of love there. I'm gonna write on this new bag, barbecue pork sandwich. Then I shall put the other bag in with the pork itself. And the instructions, so I am not confused day out. And there we go, guys. There's another one. Now, I am going to actually put the ground beef in with the other stuff and finish off the tater tot thing too. So I'm just gonna throw this whole thing in there. Maybe I will just gonna take this bad boy out again. Because that is just so nice, because it just holds it out, holds it open for you. Oops. Doesn't mean I won't spill it all over the counter, still just a little bit. That's part of the fun. Another nice thing about the raw crock, because I didn't tell you enough nice things about it already, it cleans in the dishwasher. Oh, and you can also use it on the barbecue. If you are a camper of any sort, you may want one of these. We take this one actually, and we will do chili on it in the barbecue and curry in the barbecue as well. Just put it right on the grill and let it do its thing. And we would not go camping without it, honestly. Okay, gonna give this a lovely little massage too. Give it a bit of love. Beautiful. Now that bag, see with that bag. I already got my instructions in there. They're in now. Now, that one's a pretty full bag. Tater tot shepherd pie done. 3 meals, 100% done now. Awesome. Okay, next we shall move on to the creamy turkey tetrazzini. So grab my stuff here for that. This one, we're actually using pre-cooked chicken or turkey, either one. Get some kind of poultry, go for it. What else? Onion. It calls for a jar of sliced mushrooms, which makes sense. You should have mushrooms in a tetrazzini. I hate mushrooms, so I'm not putting them in my tetrazzini. Replace it if you don't like mushrooms or you don't like any ingredient, just replace it with equal of something else. So I'm gonna throw in some corn instead, because why not? My kids will eat it, I'll eat it, and we'll go with that. We also have peas here, and I'm going to use garden vegetable dip. Some people like this, some people hate it. For me, it is like, it smells like the veggie thins. Is that what they were called? You know, like bacon dippers and that sort of brand, like the veggie thin crackers. This to me reminds me of those veggie thin crackers. And since I can't have those, I want them. So this lets me have them. Okay. And then garlic and herb seasoning. Here we go. And a tablespoon of oil. This is my bad boy for measuring oil, and I can't wait to show it to you. Sorry, get a little excited in advance. Okay, so I'm gonna start by chopping up this onion. I'm pretty sure, like, when I went to go and get the groceries for this, like, I was even buying the ketchup and stuff like that. I was not buying the balsamic because I had it, but I'd like to say it was around $80 is what it cost me for everything. And that wasn't going to different stores and shopping around. That was just going at her quick and easy. Working on my pipes today. Don't ask what pipes, I can't show them to you. Here we go. Nice and quick and easy and tear-free, which is just the best, just the best. So, There we go. Put that in here. So I am just going to open this bag that has the turkey in it, and I'm just going to throw some other things in there. Okay. So jar of sliced mushrooms, or corn, whatever, same thing. Totally the same thing. I guess I could have gone for something green, go for some broccoli or something. That probably would have been good. It's a nice thought. Totally still just going with corn. Oh, I didn't do these. Please. There we go. I'm actually going to use handy dandy little opener on this one. It's a magnet, it's a clip for your bags, and it's also a bag opener. Because that makes things easy. And easy is the name of the game. So let's see, a cup of peas. These are the most adorable little peas I think I've ever seen in my life. Those are so cute. I didn't know peas could be cute, but there they are, just cuting it all up right there. They're adorable. All right. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the garden vegetable dip mix. So doesn't just have to be a dip. You can, just because something says it's a dip, doesn't mean it has to be a dip. It can be whatever you want it to be. Just let your imagination go wild. Garlic and herb. I'm obviously using some jars that already have been opened. I'll just dump the rest in there. There we go. And I'm at peace with that. And what else do we need in there? Oh, a tablespoon of oil. So this is an oil and vinegar dispenser. So there's so many things that you just need a tablespoon of oil for, and maybe you don't want to actually get out a measuring spoon for it. Or you're using your tablespoon for dry ingredients like this, and you don't want to mess it up. Anyway, this is so easy to use. So you literally just give this a squeeze. It has all the measurements right at the side for anywhere between 1 and 3 teaspoons, aka a tablespoon. So 1 good solid squeeze will get you up to the tablespoon mark. So you barely even have to look at it. And there you go. So you have your oil portioned out, perfect for having beside the stove. If you're grilling meats, anything like that, and you need to have that tablespoon of oil. There it is right there. Nice and simple for you. I think that makes like for a great gift or something as well, because honestly, who doesn't need something like that? That is just a lovely, lovely, lovely accessory to have available.
What's it called again, Caitlin?
Oil and vinegar dispenser.
Okay, thank you.
So let's see. So I'm going to take this and mush it all up together. Want to get those seasonings and everything all moved in with everything else. Just gonna move this big lump of, ketchup and meat that I threw all over the place. Give that a quick wipe. There we go. That's better. I mean, ketchup is great and all, but it doesn't have to be on everything. Did you know there's like 5 different types of flavors? I can't remember what they all are. It's like sweet, salty, sour, umami, and something else. There are very few foods in the world that have all 5 at once. And ketchup is one of the very few things in the world that has literally all of these things all merged into one. Ketchup, so common, it's so complex. Can't remember what the 5 are, but ketchup has them all. Think about it next time you have it. I promise. You'll never look at it the same way again. Got a large bag here. I'm gonna just
Sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami.
yeah,
Or savory.
It has every one of them. And if you think of it and you run through them in your head, it's like, yeah, no, it really does have all of them. Oops. And gonna throw this in here and my instructions. And tell me how quick that was. There we go. Another one done. I'm gonna be loving myself. Like I always think I'm gonna save these for like some lengthy amount of time, and then it'll be like tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, which one of these can I eat? I'm tired. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Oops. So we're gonna move on next to the chicken chilaquiles, which I had no idea what these were before making this recipe. And after making them, I still have no idea what they are. I just know that they're delicious. So there's that. So for this one, what do we need? Okay, large bag, medium bag. Just get my stuff together and then it'll be a little bit of prep at the start makes it so much easier as you're going through. So a couple large bags and a medium bag. I need more tortilla chips. Need 8 cups of them this time. I need, it calls for 6 ounces of Colby and Monterey Jack cheese blend. I have no idea what that is. I got a nacho cheese blend because we're lactose free, so I don't have that many choices. And I thought, meh, that sounds like a thing. Anyway, still tasted delicious. So I'd say just go for it. What is the worst that could happen? And then we're doing cilantro. Either you're team cilantro or you're not. But it is called for in this. And what else? We need another tablespoon of oil. So I'll bring over my handy little dispenser there. And it's Southwestern seasoning is the seasoning that is recommended for this. So I need 8 cups of tortilla chips. Gonna throw in a few more for good measure. There we go. Okay, so large bag. We're gonna take a large bag here. You know what I did? I never put my onions in with my chicken tetrazzini. I'm just gonna fix that. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to. That was, yeah, that's I was definitely supposed to go there. I'm just looking at it here and I'm like, that's not where it's supposed to be. We're just gonna give that a quick dump in there. Pampered, not perfect. There we go. Professional moment. You know what? That'll stir up in there eventually. you know, the nice thing is I get the joy of having finished that twice now. That's like doubling my satisfaction. Love it. Okay, so this large bag right here, I'm gonna dump in my 8 cups. My 8 cups of chips. I'm gonna squeeze out the air as much as I can. There's going to be a lot of air in there because there's, you know, there's chips there. So, but not for long because they're about to get crushed. Okay, so these ones don't have to be too small. It's just coarsely crushed. There you go. Now it's just kind of looking like, you know, bottom of the bag, not bottom of the bag, but bottom of the bag. When you're like, can I just take a handful of those and dip them in the salsa? It's about that point. Now we're going to take the cheese, which use whatever blend you want. Gonna throw it in the bag, take out some air. Oh, I need my chicken bag too. Okay. So I'm gonna need a cup of cilantro. You can handle cilantro a couple of different ways. If you're big into texture, you might not want to use the stems. But the stems actually have a lot of flavor and there's nothing wrong with them, and you can totally just eat them. There is nothing wrong with the stems whatsoever. You'll notice I have mine in an herb keeper right here. And there is water in the bottom of this thing. You can take this off. So if you need to change the water, which you should be doing every, you know, couple days or so, then you can just take this off and then just set it right back in, which is really nice. Keeps your herbs better for longer. And it does come with this stripper. I know, where you just go right along on these stems and you can just literally take it right off. It's got a bunch of different sizes, so it's going to work for a bunch of different sizes of herbs. You see right there, bunch of different sizes, and you just close it shut and do that. So keeps it nice and easy. Or you can really just chop up the whole thing of cilantro. Like there's nothing wrong with that, and you will save so much time. But perhaps other people in your family might not be into it. I don't know. There's reasons for doing everything that we do. So I am just going to chop up some of this one. So where'd my 1 cup go? Here we are. So I'm just going to take some here. And I'm going to do like kind of a happy medium where I'm not going to chop all the way to the bottom. I'm going to get the main part at the top and just use that. So I'm not using like a really stocky part at the bottom, but I'm not wasting a bunch of time either. So for me, this is my happy medium on it. But you could definitely go at it any number of ways. And it's actually, I believe it's supposed to be stronger flavor that you get from the stem than you do from the leaves as well. So if that's a good thing for you, because like I could just eat cilantro on its own, throw it on burgers. I could throw it in everything. Like for this 1 cup, I'm gonna be like smushing her down because it'll be like all the cilantro-y goodness I can get in there, the better. To each their own when it comes to cilantro. So like you see at the top there, like there is stem, but it's the amount of stem that I am at peace with that's not going to really change the texture an awful lot. But I know if nobody else eats it, I will eat the whole thing because this thing is stinking delicious. It is like the weirdest looking meal ever, though. I will tell you in advance when you make it, you're going to be like, Caitlin, what are you trying to feed me? And then you're going to take a bite and be like, oh, that's what you're trying to feed me. Thank you. Put just a little bit more in there. And 1 have too much. Don't answer that. Okay. I'm probably getting close to a good amount there. When I'm doing fresh herbs, like I like to be fairly heavy on them. I don't know. They're good. It's, you can't beat it. Here we go. You there for good measure? Gonna put the top back on that and she's gonna be good to go. This will fit right in the door ledge, like I don't know what you would call them, like in the front door of the fridge, those little pockets on the side. That's gonna fit right in there, so kind of nice. Okay. And I am just going to actually, because we don't need the big chunks of it, we can have the stem in without having big chunks. So we are going to chop this little. Like you can use this food chopper for so many things. If you cook, you probably want one of these. Unless you already have one, then preach. Oh. So, bag with the chicken. We are going to put a tablespoon of oil. Going to put 2 tablespoons of the Southwestern seasoning. And I'm gonna throw in our cilantro. cilantro smells so good. If this looks like a weird combination of ingredients to you, you're not alone. This is going to take a little bit of trust, my friends, a little bit of trust. But I don't think that you will regret this life choice. Make sure we got all this seasoning and stuff. I'll spread out on the chicken. Doesn't have to be perfect, but don't want one bite tasting delicious, and the other bite just tasting kind of delicious. All right, here we go. So, gonna write on this one, chicken, chilaquiles. Probably butchered the spelling of that, but since I don't know what they really truly are anyway, that's okay. I don't think anybody is going to be insulted. If I insulted anybody, oops. There's one bag. Throw the cheese in there. Throw our chips in there. The instructions for your new favorite, what you never knew you were missing all your life. There we go. And another one bites the dust. Got another one out of there. Like, how cool is that? I'm excited to show you this one. I'm really, really, really excited to show you this one. So it is easy whole grain chicken tenders. Okay. Taking out our chicken. Now, bag of tortilla chips. This is like our secret weapon today, bags of tortilla chips. So now I want my garlic and herb and 1 egg, garlic and herb. Oops. And my bell pepper herb. Like, this is a must-have. The bell pepper herb is so good. Absolutely love that one. It is just such a good flavor. You get those seasonings that you can use in just about anything. And that's what that is. Now, I am just going to crush this in this bag. Will I regret it? Maybe, but I think it'll probably be okay. Now, if you are doing this and you are not gluten-free, you could use any kind of whole grain chip that you felt like using, like, which there are many different varieties that you can choose from. If you're gluten-free, there are not so many. So I just kept it simple with tortilla chips, and I was not disappointed at all with the result. And I don't think you will be either. Unlike the last one, I do want these ones to be pretty crummy. And there we go. I just tore my bag. As you can see a hole over there, and I'm not playing with that anymore. Not doing it anymore. We're gonna see. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so gonna take my bag. I've got chicken all cut up into strips. If you wanted to make this into nuggets, you could cut them up nugget size. If you have millions of hours in your time, I'm not sure why you're doing freezer meal workshop, but you could cut them into dinosaurs if you wanted to. I don't know. You can make them into anything. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. So gonna put an egg in here. Okay. Yep. I cracked that one precariously. Don't think I got any eggshell in there, but guess we'll find out. See who gets the crunchy chicken tender. Well, another tablespoon of oil. Nice and easy. And I'm actually going to use a tablespoon of water in here as well. So I'm just going to use my mini measuring apparatus right here. Throw that in there. Now I want to get this coated all over the chicken. So, little chicken massage. So tablespoon of each seasoning in here, tablespoon of canola, tablespoon of, or whatever oil you use. I use avocado for like everything. And tablespoon of water, basically tablespoons of everything for this. So just for making these, it's a very, very, very easy recipe to remember and have in the back of your mind. And feel like you're going to want this one in the back of your mind. Okay. So we are going to take this precarious bag of crushed chips and just dump her in there like that. Yeah, that easy. We want to try to make sure that these chicken tenders don't stick together. It can be a little tricky to do. In fact, someday, if you had time, we kind of wanted to do this in bulk. It likely would not hurt to lay them on a cookie sheet or something like that and freeze them that way, and then put them in a freezer bag. But in a pinch, this will still do, okay? And these are just the most ridiculously easy gluten-free chicken fingers, perfectly seasoned, that you will ever make. And you control the ingredients that's going in them. There we go. So I'm trying my best to make sure that they are not sticking together. May not be perfect, but I think you're going to be so happy with the results of that. That is a huge thing of chicken fingers, and I can guarantee these are going to compete with anything flavor-wise that you would find commercially. So if you have small kids at home, if you happen to be a small kid, deep down on the inside, I got you. There's no shame. Oh, and then I'm going to put the prep instructions in here. Not that there's a lot. Basically, it's cook them. Here we go. Easy chicken fingers. And done. There is another meal done, guys. That one, I promise you, try it. You will go to it over and over and over again because it is just that good. So next one, last one, I believe. Yeah, we get 6 meals made already, guys. Broccoli cheddar soup. So I'm gonna bring over 2 large bags. One medium bag. Got a little over eager there. Let's see. Calls for 2 medium carrots, but actually, yeah, that's medium enough. Okay, 2 medium carrots, 2 stalks of celery, bag of broccoli, now it calls for 8 ounce of sharp cheddar. However close we are with this is exactly what's going to be going in there. Yeah, it's like 9 ounces that's there. So I'm at peace with that. I don't think anybody will mind. So we got cheese there. And smoky applewood and bell pepper herb. So a lot of these recipes are using the same seasonings. So that's nice because I mean, you buy that seasoning, you don't have to, you know, have a whole bunch of other ones. Okay. So first off, I am going to show you like one of the things that should not be exciting yet somehow is exciting, and that's the vegetable peeler. Guys, I love this vegetable peeler, and that is not something I ever thought I would say, and it's like a sign of complete adulthood achievement, I feel like, because I'm saying that. However, the reason that I like it is because it will go forwards and backwards. It has no little metal piece in the middle, so it never gets gunked up, if you know what I mean. You know, when your peeler gets gunked up and you gotta, you know, stop using it and clear it out. And it also just takes the thinnest shred off of it. And I don't know if you know this, but most of the nutrients in a lot of vegetables is like just below the peel, like potatoes and stuff. So the deeper the shred that you're getting, the more of the nutrients I believe you're actually taking out of it. So this just takes the thinnest shave off of it. It doesn't feel like you're tearing right down to the vegetable soul, which I really like. And it just works so smooth. Like, I never knew peeling a carrot could be therapeutic until I tried this. And I'm like, holy crap, it's fun. Like, this is one of my favorite things to bring to a market just because it's ridiculously fun. It makes me want to eat carrots every day, or at least feed them to people every day. There we go. Love that. How much fun is that? Okay. So just gonna cut off the ends there. All right, actually, I'm gonna empty my compost bin. Yeah, now I can just start filling back up again. Okay, so my carrots, just a quick rough chop there. And give my celery a rough chop. And I'm just gonna put it in this pocket for a second while I'm doing some initial chopping so that they're not like popping all over the place. You know, one of the things that the food shopper like saves my life on around the holidays is making stuffing. Making stuffing and having to chop up all the onion and the celery and the garlic and all of those things. This makes it so fast. There we go. So that's all ready to go. And maybe you're looking at this food shopper and thinking like, hey, I mean, that's kind of cool and all. That's awesome, Trish. You might be thinking this thing looks like a pain in the butt to clean. Like, how horrible is it to clean? And it's not. Okay. So comes right apart like this, and this. And then you can put it right in the dishwasher. Top rack of the dishwasher, all pieces can go in there. And that's how I wash mine, and keeps it really simple. Or you could wash it other ways if you wanted to. I'd use a cleaning brush or something if you're gonna go at it, because I mean the blades aren't, they're blades. Okay, let's throw that over there. Scrape this fun stuff into my cutting board pocket. So we're just gonna dump this stuff in as we prep it. So there is our carrot and our celery. Once again, gonna use my bag clipper and slicer right here just to open that. Fine, even if there is a pull tab on something, it's like a 50-50 situation, whether it works or whether it goes like, partway through and then just quits. All right, we're gonna use a tablespoon of each of our rubs. So that's the bell pepper herb and the smoky applewood. There we go. Nice little combo there. So actually, now that I got all that in there, and you might notice this one is a vegetarian meal. It's nice to, throw a vegetarian dish in there every now and then. It stacks the nutrients, it saves a bit of the cost. I mean, you still have the cheese in there, so you're throwing lots of proteins and whatnot. Give it a veggie massage. If you happen to have the deluxe cooking blender, I really think that you could do this recipe just throwing everything in that blender, and it would just make it a creamy pureed one instead. You'll see the directions. This is not a creamy pureed one, but I think you could do it if you wanted to just do, instead of doing stovetop, if you wanted to be really lazy and you happen to have the deluxe cooking blender, then I think this one would be a great one for that, because you'd barely even have to thaw it. You could just dump it in there. Okay. I haven't tried that myself, but it seems like it would work. Now we're going to grate ourselves some cheese. Rest of this block from earlier. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't think cheese is ever in danger of going to waste in this house, but I live with 3 cheese monsters, so it will always be used. Gonna get my hand protector. I think I'm gonna need that soon, but still going rogue for a little bit, guys. Still going rogue. All right, I'm done being rogue. Done being rogue. Go in safety mode. Go in safety mode. Put some of my cheese in my pocket here. Make a little room. Throw some in there. And really, this cheese is going into the soup. Just having it shredded is going to make it so it's not going to take so long to thaw out. It's going to melt a little easier in there. So we're not looking for perfection here. There we go. Now we are going to throw that just into a little, well, a medium freezer bag here. Perfect. Gonna flatten this out a little for easy freeze. There we go. Oops. And then shake it out all over the counter. It's okay. Just throw that back in. Here we go. Beautiful. So, gonna take one large freezer bag. Like, that's a lot of veggies in that soup. The cheese, and that's gonna make, hopefully, the veggies perfectly acceptable to anyone, even if they happen to be picky, in which case it might be a bad idea to, you have an immersion blender or something like that after you cook it up, shred it up, see how that goes for you. Okay. Broccoli, cheddar. Ooh. That's the last one. Okay, let's check this out for just a second. There's one, there's two, there's 3, 4, 5. 6, 7 meals. That's a lot. That is so much time saved. And it took us under 2 hours to put all that together. Like, you will love yourself later. I promise you will love yourself later. Most of the prep tools are all just going to go right in the dishwasher. So, I mean, that's also really easy. I'm not doing that work. And it's the cleanup all at one time, not every day when I'm putting this stuff together. So I would love to hear what you guys think of the meals. Take a picture when you make it or tell me what you thought of it. I am very, very, very excited. If you saw anything you like here today, feel free to ask me about it. If you want all of it, I'd recommend hosting a party. Then you can get things for a discount. You can get plenty more recipes throughout the week, and I will spoil the crap out of all your friends, I promise. I take the pampering part of this job very, very seriously. Or, you know what? Consider becoming a consultant. You can totally do it, right? And I'd be happy to get you set up. Okay, guys, this has been lovely, and we will do it again sometime very, very, very soon. Okay, bye-bye.